Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari in the 2025 season was a headline-grabbing event in the Formula One world, but it brought with it a series of challenges, especially in the marketing and merchandising side of things. What was expected to be a seamless transition into one of the most iconic teams in motorsport quickly became a logistical nightmare for Ferrari's longtime partner, Puma. In a sport where every detail matters and commercial success is often just as important as on-track performance, the pressure of such a big move was felt across the board. And it wasn't just about delivering top-tier merchandise, it was about meeting the overwhelming demands of a fan base that has been conditioned to expect nothing short of perfection. The chaos that ensued in the wake of Hamilton's arrival paints a picture of the immense pressure that even the most established brands can face when trying to keep up with the commercial juggernaut that is Lewis Hamilton. Puma, Ferrari's long-standing apparel partner for over 2 decades, quickly found itself drowning in an avalanche of requests and demand after Hamilton's signing. When Hamilton posed in front of Enzo Ferrari's home on his first official day at Ferrari, the world took notice. The image instantly went viral, breaking records and earning over 5.7 million likes on Instagram. It was more than just a picture. It was a signal to the world that Hamilton was now part of Ferrari, and with that came an unprecedented surge in global demand for Ferrari-related merchandise. The demand was astronomical, and the Puma inventory systems simply weren't prepared for it. Within minutes of the announcement, the brand's visibility on social media soared. Fan activity across digital platforms surged, with record-breaking spikes in Ferrari's social media accounts, followership and engagement. For an organization like Ferrari, which has always had a significant brand presence, this kind of shift was both a blessing and a curse. While they had expected some increase in interest, the scale of it was far beyond anything they had anticipated. The marketing teams were quickly overwhelmed by the sudden, massive increase in global demand, and before long, Puma was caught scrambling to keep up with the overwhelming number of requests and orders. The speed at which Hamilton's presence transformed Ferrari's commercial momentum was staggering. It wasn't just about the Ferrari faithful anymore. Interest came from fans across the world, including regions Ferrari hadn't traditionally reached as deeply. The digital campaigns now needed to cater to a much broader global audience. Fans in the United States and Asia were driving interest just as much as those in Italy or the United Kingdom. This rapid shift towards a more modern, lifestyle-driven brand tone caught many by surprise. Ferrari's communications shifted to focus not just on performance, but also on the aspirational culture tied to their brand, something that was influenced heavily by Hamilton's persona. What followed was a series of merchandising missteps that highlighted the gulf between traditional sports marketing and the kind of brand power that Hamilton brought with him. Historically, Puma had managed Ferrari's merchandise launches in a well-defined, structured manner. The process followed predictable patterns. Team kits were released in conjunction with new car reveals, driver-specific accessories followed later, and limited edition items were rolled out for special race, weekends or championship pushes. But with Hamilton's entry into Ferrari, this traditional model came undone. Puma, for all its years of experience working with Ferrari, didn't anticipate the level of demand for Hamilton-branded merchandise. While initial plans focused on releasing general Ferrari gear for the 2025 season, Hamilton-specific items were conspicuously absent. Fans were not interested in generic Ferrari gear. They wanted Hamilton-branded items from caps to performance jackets to show their support for the 7-time world champion. But when they went online to purchase these items, they were met with frustration. The official Ferrari and Puma stores displayed products with the Ferrari logo and general season branding, but Hamilton's name, his iconic number 44, and personalized design elements were nowhere to be found. The lack of Hamilton-specific gear wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a serious logistical oversight. Once the basic Ferrari items sold out, fans turned to online resellers where prices soared. Hamilton's cap, which featured his number 44, sold out multiple times within hours, with resellers charging double the original price. Internal teams at Puma flagged the issue, but the company's logistical response wasn't fast enough. The global demand kept rising, and Puma was left scrambling. Fans were hoarding items as soon as they became available, only to resell them at marked-up prices, exacerbating the problem. Retailers connected to Puma had no answers for customers. Inventory questions were redirected back to Ferrari, but the situation only worsened. The once structured process of merchandise distribution was now in complete disarray, and fans were left wondering why a company as experienced as Puma had failed to prepare for the magnitude of Hamilton's commercial power. So, where was the Hamilton-branded merchandise? The most loyal fans had expected it to be available quickly, but more than 2 months after Hamilton's debut shoot at Ferrari's headquarters in Maranello, no official Hamilton collection had been released. Fans kept refreshing websites in the hope of finding something with his signature or number. But despite the increased demand and the constant online chatter, no merchandise featuring Hamilton's name, signature, or even personalized design had made its way to shelves. It was a glaring absence, especially given the fact that other drivers in similar situations, such as Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, had received their own custom collections within months of joining Ferrari. The reason behind this delay seems to lie in the complex nature of licensing and branding agreements. Hamilton's commercial clout, with his own intellectual property rights and brand influence, means that Puma, Ferrari, and Hamilton himself must all sign off on product launches and designs. This level of coordination has its own set of challenges, especially when dealing with a global brand like Ferrari and a driver as influential as Hamilton. But the result was clear. Fans were left in the dark, and Puma's marketing strategy, which had worked for years, suddenly seemed out of touch with the reality of Hamilton's overwhelming appeal. In terms of Hamilton's overall commercial presence, it's clear that the driver's influence stretches far beyond Formula One.